Hello, hello. Welcome back to the podcast. It's your girl, Kamie Crawford, and today I'm by myself. Obviously, I'm alone, but I'm never lonely, period. It has been an interesting past month. I don't know exactly when this is going to air, but if you remember, in my last solo, I was telling y'all that I was getting off birth control for the first time. I was on birth control for 18 years. And what has it been, like 3 weeks, maybe 4 weeks since I've been off the juice? Honey, let me tell you something. Your girl was not prepared. I was not prepared because so many people told me that I was going to get off the pill and immediately have this like fresh, like if I was going to smell like pine sol in the air. Like I was going to have this like mind clearing like moment where I was going to feel like I could see colors differently, all this shit. I thought I was going to feel like like I was on acid. I've never been on acid, but I could only imagine that that's how you feel when you're on acid. Like, whoa, like everything's so vibrant. Bitch, that is not what the fuck happened to me. Okay. I felt dark, dingy, dull, drab, like all of the worst things. It feels like a brain fog. Like today I woke up and I actually felt fine, but I've also been traveling nonstop, recording the podcast nonstop, like very, very busy. So I could not figure out if I was feeling worn down and like burnt out or if this was like post pill syndrome, which I need to do an episode about this because I'm reading this book right now. And by reading, I mean I have it on Audible. It's called Beyond the Pill. If you don't listen, I know some people can crack open a good book and like sit by the fireplace and sip your coffee and have the best morning, like reading your book. I'm just not that bitch. Like, I need to listen to it because once I start reading the words, I take a nap and I don't want that. So, what I'm doing now, this is a new thing that I'm trying, is buying the actual physical copy of a book and listening to the audiobook at the same time so that I can like follow along. But if that doesn't work out, I can listen to the audiobook while I'm doing other shit. That's what I like. That's for the girls who are into that. I'm with you because that's the only way. Or like while I'm getting ready, like I've been listening to Beyond the Pill by Dr. Jolene Brighton, who I need to get on the podcast because we need to talk about this because it's so much eye-opening information in this book. But I was listening to it while I was getting ready to shoot catfish and like as I'm glamming and, cleaning up my house. Like that is my ideal book reading situation. So basically just letting you guys know that I am now a bookworm and well, an audio bookworm. So I have the worms in my ears, I suppose. But it is really, really just enlightening. Like I'm learning a lot about myself and my body. One thing that I've learned is that I've talked a lot about, I don't know if I talked about it on the podcast. I think I did. I think I did because I talked about getting a colonic. I have had really bad gut issues since last year, like pretty much all of last year, but then I started getting it taken care of at the end of last year. And I'm realizing from Beyond the Pill with Dr. Brighton that gut issues are directly related to the pill. So there's a chance that my gut had been impaired and worn down because of my long-term use of the pill. And I just never really like recognized it. I don't know. But I feel like now I have some tools, some new tools in my toolbox. So I feel really good about that. But I learned about post pill syndrome, which is an actual thing. Because, of course, with any drug or medication, once you get off of it, you're going to have like a withdrawal. And so my body went into withdrawal pretty much straight away. I did end up finishing my pack of the birth control that I was on. So I was on a hormonal birth control, like a brand of Seasonique. Mine was called Daisy. It was in a little pink, like 3-tiered pocket, whatever the fuck. You know what the fuck I'm talking about. It's birth control. Anyway, so I finished it. And then the last couple pills. So, well, okay, let me explain the birth control to you if you don't know about Seasonique. It's basically a birth control where you only get 4 periods a year. So you bleed every 3 months. And what I didn't realize until I read this book or listened to it, but I'm going to keep saying read it because it doesn't matter. I read it. I'm reading it currently. I only have 5 hours and 22 minutes left. As I'm reading this book, I'm realizing that the period that you get on the pill is not a period. It's just a withdrawal bleed. It's not an actual period because you're not actually ovulating. It's a whole thing. I need to get her on the podcast so we can like run through this entire thing because I'm like mind blown by it. I'm mind blown by a medication that I've been taking for the past 18 years that I didn't know anything about or what it was doing to my body. Insane. But so I would get my period every 3 months, and I took the pills until the end of the pack because I didn't want to stop like mid pack, because that I've heard can like give you like your body goes into like, whoa, what the fuck mode. And it's even worse than if you kind of just take it little by little. I'd already prepared myself that this was something that I was going to do. And in the book, Dr. Brighton talks about taking supplements and like really working on your gut before you get off the pill. It's like a whole plan for pre getting off the pill. And she talks about how important like your gut health is before you get off of it. And luckily, I was already doing all of those things because I was having these gut health issues. So I was already taking supplements regularly. I was already working on repairing my gut. And then I decided to get off the pill. And now I feel, of course, like shit, but I think a little bit less of feeling like shit than how I would have felt had I not been doing those things. Does that make sense? So, like, even the withdrawal bleed that I had when I finished my pack, that was the first withdrawal bleed that I had had from birth control since going completely gluten free. So if I went gluten free completely like 4 months ago, I don't know. Because, you know, when you're on birth control, I don't know about everybody, but me and my friends, my girls, like sometimes, you know, you have a vacation that's coming up and you want to skip your period because you don't want to have a period on vacation. Like, duh. So I think I had like 4 months of just taking the pill like straight and like skipping the withdrawal, the placebo pills, like for the withdrawal bleed. So this last time of having my quote unquote period was the first time that I was getting my period since going completely gluten free. And I will say, I'm not no motherfucking doctor, obviously. I'm not no motherfucking scientist, obviously. Although I feel like I very well could be. I was pre-med at the University of Alabama my freshman year of college. I mean, don't laugh at me. My assistant's laughing at me. I was, and I did study bio that year. But I feel like there is a correlation between the gluten and cramps. Because this last time when I had my quote unquote period was the least amount of cramps that I have ever in my life bleeding. Like, and like I said, I don't know for a fact. This is all alleged. But I will say, like, I was still exhausted. I was still like obviously lethargic and had cravings and stuff like that. But like the pain was way, way less. And so I just feel like there could be something to that. I don't know. Don't shoot the messenger. I'm just telling you what the fuck was going on with me. It might not be the same for you. I don't know. But I do feel like repairing my gut and like working on my gut has helped and is going to continue to help me throughout this process. So other than the brain fog, the exhaustion, all of that, my skin, forget it. Today is a good day. Today we've come back. We've bounced back. Things are looking good. But when I say every morning it was like a new friend was appearing on my face or foe, whatever the fuck, chin, forehead, this, that, the third, everywhere, all over, everything. My skin was reacting because it's a withdrawal. Like a lot of people say that when they get off the pill, they have the same issues that they had before getting on the pill because the pill just kind of like masks it. And I'm not going on like a pill bashing rant here. I just want for you to know what I've been going through because obviously I love the pill. Hello, it's kept me from getting pregnant and having really painful periods for the past 18 years of my life. But there's a lot to the pill that like we're not discussing and a lot that it masks that it doesn't actually heal. So when you get off of it, you experience a lot of the things that you had before. And that's just the facts. I'm not telling you to get off the pill, but this is what went down for me. So a lot of people who had acne, like adolescent acne, and got on the pill for acne say that when they get off the pill, it's like their adolescent acne just like rushes back. And what I like about this book, not sponsored, but you know, Dr. Jolene, what's up? What I like about the book is that it talks about like ways that you can use supplements and your diet and things like that to kind of not avoid those things from like rearing their head, but at least keep them just like simmered down. Like they're not on high. They're like at a low simmer. So yes, my skin did blow the fuck up. And I've heard that it takes like 3 to 4 months of these kinds of changes before you start feeling normal because your body is like in a detoxing phase of like trying to just get the medication out of you. It takes a long time for that to happen. But the other symptom that I have not felt in years had to do with my nipples. I have not felt nipple pain in so long. It felt like I had two newborn babies clawing on my titties with grown people teeth. It was so sensitive that even my bra, like I could feel like it just felt anything I would like graze against something. And I'd be like, nipple soreness, boob soreness, like tenderness. That is a thing. Whoo, honey. It's insane. It's insane. I actually, one of my best friends, I won't mention their name, but they are currently in the process of transitioning. And I was talking to her, and, she's telling me about her experience getting on hormones. And like, she was just like, girl, I'm on these moans. And I was like, bitch, I feel like I'm on the moans too. Like, I feel all this shit. We're both having, like, both of our boobs hurt right now. It's a whole thing. It's a whole thing. It's not comfortable, obviously. And there was like a moment, like a week and a half ago, where I was like, fuck, like, I wish I had my pill. But then I was like, bitch, you're an addict. You're a birth control addict. You need to get off this shit. And I'm really happy that I am because I'm just learning so much more about my body. Like that's great. Like at 31, I'm discovering my body and like all of its wonder. Yeah. It's not all it's fucking cracked up to be. Being a woman is hard, but I do feel like I am in a good place right now, today at least. I am now a cycle tracker. I'm a newbie cycle tracker on Natural Cycles, the app. I have an Aura Ring. And so the Aura Ring takes my temperature and links it to this Natural Cycles app, which is like a natural birth control cycle tracker. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So, yes, right now I am a newbie cycler. I have 1 star out of 5 for my cycle tracking journey. But every day I have been putting my information in. It's really funny because at night I'll be asking my man, like, if it's getting like close to time when like we're gonna go to sleep, I'll be like, so are we planning on having unprotected sex tonight? And will you withdraw or will you not withdraw? Because I need to put it in my app. And he literally is like, this is not how our relationship is going to be. Like, we are not going to be, we're not like 97. We're not planning sex. Like, what are you talking about? I'm like, I have to plan it because I have to put it in the app. He's not amused, but he does kind of think it's funny. I'm trying to rediscover myself again. I'm just waiting for this period because I need to put in the app. It's a whole thing. Anyway, that's my update. Oh, also, I posted a cheeky little photo the other day, and a lot of people had things to say about it because I posted like a little photo dump, and it had a picture of some rings in it, allegedly. And yes, I went and I tried on some rings, and I was able to narrow down my dream ring list in my notes app because I had a few ideas of like what I knew that I definitely didn't want and things that I knew that I did want. And the whole time, like my boyfriend has been asking me like, for my information because he's just like, when I'm ready, I know you. Like I know you're going to be looking for it and I don't want you to be like looking for the day and time. Like I want it to be a surprise. But obviously, he knows me as well as y'all know me. Like surprise what? Like I'm going to be in a white dress, I'm going to have my nails done, everything's going to be ready to go. I'm ready to get proposed to at any time. I've been getting natural nails for the past fucking year and a half. For what? I've been getting natural nails since we first met because I've been waiting for him to propose to me. Anyway, but he's like, I don't want for you to like be anticipating it. I want to have all the information so that I can go and get the ring and I will be ready to propose to you when the day comes. But I don't want you to like be, nosy, which I am. So he was like, when I was in New York for Fashion Week, he was like, why don't you go and take your sisters and like go try on rings together? Like that would be really fun. And I was like, that would be really fun. And it was my first time ever trying on rings, y'all. I've never done that before. So that was like really special. And I did it with my sisters. Not all of them. Y'all know I got hella sisters, but I did it with, I would say, the top three because the youngest two are 16-year-old twins and they don't live in New York. So the top three, meaning an age range after me, my sisters, Milan, Victoria, and Carrington. Shout out to y'all. They were like weirdly emotional about it. And I was like low key a little, I was excited, obviously, but they were like, oh my God, like this is happening. And like we actually love him. Like that's so great. It's like, great. Good to know. But we all tried on rings. We drank champagne. It was so lovely. We went to Ring Concierge, who you guys know, Nicole Wegman. She came on the podcast and we talked about engagement rings. If you haven't seen or heard that episode, make sure you go check that out. But she told me after that episode, she was like, when you come to New York, like come over to the showroom. We'll try on rings. We'll drink champagne. And I was like, hey, coming to New York, like me DMing them, coming to New York would like champagne and rings, please. Thank you. And we got to play around with different diamonds and shapes and all the things. And it was amazing. I have made a decision that I am actually a gold girl. I'm a gold girl. We knew this. Like, hello, I wear gold all the fucking time. But I thought forever that like I was gonna get like a platinum or like a white gold ring. Like I thought that that was me. I also thought I was going to cushion cut with a halo, but that was a long time ago. Now we are getting a oval hidden halo gold, but I think white prongs, like white gold prongs. I need to like really, because the white gold prongs will like bring out the diamond more. I don't know. I need to try it on. So yeah, the hunt is still on. We're still on the hunt, but I was able to narrow some things down. So I always thought that I was going to get white gold or platinum, y'all, but it just was not, it just didn't feel like me. I don't know. So that's what's going on with that. Obviously, didn't go home with anything, but I did go home with new information. So there are a few people in my life that have that information that they can share with him when the time comes and he knows who to go to. So we're good there. We're straight. Before we go, some of you need advice. Some of you have some questions, and I can't just sit on here and talk about myself the whole motherfucking time. I got to talk about y'all. So let's go. Bestie, I love you and I need some serious advice. I love you too. But I would like to remain anonymous, please. No problem. I think we do everybody anonymous for the most part. I just like to keep it all anonymous because, okay. So my boyfriend and I have been together for about 4 years. We both live together, but lately I feel like I've been living with a roommate. To be honest, my feelings for him have changed a lot. For many years, I was so loving, affectionate, and wanted to spend every waking moment with him, but he never returned the favor. Every little thing I said or did would set him off and wouldn't care if it upset me. Over time, I stopped being that girl and distanced myself. I stopped caring for the relationship. Now that he is wanting to do everything and be everything I wanted him to be, I no longer care. Mentally, I've broken up with him. Physically, I'm still living with him, but I don't want to. I've been looking for a place to move, but it's been difficult. He asked me if I wanted to break up with him, and I said no, but in reality, I do. I just don't have a place to stay at the moment. What do I do? You gonna need to get you a cardboard box, put it on the street, and move all your shit into it. Why are you staying? You cannot stay here. I know it's been hard, but you have to get out of there. I think when you get out of there, you will finally feel the clarity that you've been wanting to feel, and he will actually understand and realize that it's over. Of course, you don't want to put yourself in a situation where like you're living on the streets, but I feel like maybe stay on a friend's couch for a little bit. I know it's a lot to like try to burden somebody with your presence, but I'm sure you have somebody in your life that is willing to take you in and give you a place. It doesn't sound like you're in an unsafe situation, which is great, or in a place where it's like you have to, like it's very dire, but I think that for your own mental state, it would be best to get out as soon as you can, safely and affordably, of course. But yeah, I mean, that's the consequences of your actions, bro. Like he wasn't giving you what you wanted, and you luckily had the confidence to be able to say, you know what, I deserve better and I want more, and this is not it. and now you're moving on, and people always, in the Caribbean, we call it Johnny come latelys. Johnny come latelys are the people who always come in at the last minute. Like, you're always doing something at the last minute. It's funny, I posted a TikTok the other day about how, when the person that you're talking to says that they were planning something but you ruined it, like, whenever you'll be like, "Why don't you ever do blah blah blah?" And they're like, "Well, I was planning on it. I was planning on it, but now you ruined the surprise." They were never fucking planning on it. They were never planning on it. It's always at the last minute. It's always when challenged with something or when something is brought up that people who do not have a plan for you and your future all of a sudden got all of these plans and all these things to say. And I understand where you're at because I was in a relationship like that too when I was younger. And the guy was great. There was nothing like necessarily wrong with him, but it wasn't going anywhere. And he didn't really put forth a lot of effort. And it made me also lose interest, but I was too scared to leave because I was like, what else is out there? Like, who else am I going to meet? And the reality is that you will meet somebody else, and there's a lot more out there that's better for you. But I remember the heartbreaking, like, last conversation that we had about the relationship, and he was in tears and he was telling me all these things about his feelings for me and all this stuff. And I was like, it's too little too late. Like, unfortunately, it's like the JoJo song. It's just too little too late, bro. Sorry. But he was lovely. There was nothing like wrong. There was nothing wrong except for the fact that it was not a fulfilling relationship. So that made it wrong. But he was a good person. He just wasn't the person for me. So I think that, yeah, in your situation, pack your bags up and leave. You gotta go to the left, to the left. Sorry. But also congratulations to you. And that's very great. And I'm really proud of you for coming to that conclusion and getting out of there because you deserve the best, bestie. All right. Well, that's it for me. I gotta go. I think I'm gonna get sushi for lunch. I'm really hungry. I don't know. We'll see. It's different when you gotta have gluten-free soy sauce. And I ran out. I gotta go get some more. Okay, let me go do that. I love you all. Thanks for listening, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye.